Hello, it is noon in Cairo. It's 11 a.m. here in London. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain. Verjee. You're watching CNN. This is World
Egypt is waiting to see who comes out on top after the newly elected president moved aggressively to assert his power over that of the military. Barely 2 months after taking office, Mohamed Morsi on Sunday ordered the head of the Supreme Military Council to step down, along with the army's chief of staff and several senior generals. Now live from Cairo with more on that. Ian. Meanwhile, while this political shakeup is taking place in the capital, there is a military operation taking place right now in Sinai. Talk to us a little bit about news that's coming out now that a senior tribal leader and his son were killed by unknown assailants in the area there, while there was supposed to be some sort of a tribal conference taking place.
Well, that's right. What's happening right now is security forces are trying to win over the Bedouin as they're trying to secure the Sinai.
All right, before we get to Rio, they have to get out of London. And London's Heathrow Airport is bracing for its biggest surge of outbound travelers in the coming hours as Olympic visitors head home. A temporary terminal has been opened, especially for athletes and the officials. CNN's Jim Bolden is in the thick of all the things there, and he joins us now live with how it looks over there. Jim?
Hi, Monita. Yes, we've seen a lot of athletes come through here this morning. Around 6,000 athletes are expected to depart from this games terminal. It's only going to be open for 3 days.
Yeah, it's going to seem like London's going to feel a little empty and lonely without all of them for the next little while. Jim, thank you very much for that. Jim Bolden there at Heathrow. We want to see what newspapers here in Britain are saying about all of this. The Independent's headline is a gold medal to the athletes and the audience. It goes on to say, these were the games you couldn't fail to love. The games that seduced cold-headed calculation of cost and reward with their sheer vitality. The games that took on astonishing life. The headline in The Guardian, the legacy of a flag to share. It's a comment piece that goes on to say, these have been 17 days that may have changed this country, if not for good, then certainly in a lot of good ways that may, with luck and effort, endure. And finally, there's a guest editorial in the Daily Telegraph written by London's Mayor Boris Johnson with the headline, London and Team GB, take a bow, you've dazzled the world. It certainly has. And it says, London has put on a dazzling face to the global audience for the first time since the end of the empire. It truly feels like the capital of the world. The Olympic flame of the 2012 London Games has been extinguished. Thousands of athletes returned to the Olympic Stadium for a concert. So what's next for London and the long-term future for Olympic sites and venues? David Stubbs is head of sustainability for the London Olympic and Paralympic Games, and he joins us now live with more on that. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. So, what will happen? It's kind of like, you know, everyone's here for this big party for even with the Paralympic Games to come up, and then once everyone's gone, what happens to those places?
Well, next year we'll have the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, so we will have a short period of transformation as the temporary structures are taken down and some of the permanent venues are reconfigured into their legacy state.
Saying that the London 2012 Games is the first time that people are actually talking about legacy of the Olympic Games, not just for a particular city, but for the Games in itself, because a lot of times cities will look at how much they've spent, how much they can save, and, you know, how much, I guess, in terms of just trying to protect themselves for any losses from these games. But this is the first time that they're looking at a long-term solution, a long-term look ahead to what these games actually mean to a city. What would these games mean to London?
Well, it goes right back to when we were bidding. We knew that we weren't just wanting to host the world's most spectacular sporting festival off that issue. All
right, Mr. Stubbs, thank you very much for being with us. I think it's in stories like this, you know, we're often meant to be quite unbiased and take the, you know, the middle ground and all that, but it was certainly feel proud to be a Londoner after these games.
Yeah, well, we're very proud of it too.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It says government forces carried out a massacre in the suburb of the capital city, Damascus, earlier this Monday. Activists say at least 110 people died in fighting across the country on Sunday. Reports from Aleppo say the city came under fresh attack from government jets. Now some opposition leaders are calling for foreign powers to impose a no-fly zone. CNN's Ben Wiedemann joins us now from northern Syria. Ben.
Yes, Monita, we heard that call from many of the Free Syrian Army commanders.
The Vatican is expected to say in the next hour whether the Pope's former butler will be charged with leaking secret documents. Some of the details wound up in a sensational best-selling book that made claims of corruption and power struggles in the Catholic Church hierarchy. CNN's religious affairs contributor Richard Allen Green joins us now with more on that. Richard.
That's right. Now, this is one of the biggest scandals to hit the sort of political inside of the Vatican.
Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Looking back, well, they say all good things must come to an end, and the Olympics here in London finally have, after 16 days of compelling competition. Amanda Davis has been at the Olympic Park for us throughout the Games, and we pass the baton over to her. Amanda.
I miss you guys. Come back. It's lonely on the balcony over here without you.
We miss you too.
Do we?
Oh, thanks very much.
The Premier League season kicks off next weekend already. It seems crazy that there really isn't much of a break, right? You've got the Euro, the Olympics, and now the new football season starts over. These guys really don't get much of a break.
There's just no rest for you.
No, there isn't.
None. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're watching World One live from
Welcome
London.
back. You are watching World One. Here are some of the stories we're talking about here in the newsroom. They say sequels are never as good as the original, but one Hollywood actress hopes to prove them wrong. Jennifer Aniston is getting ready to take her second trip down the aisle. 7 years after her marriage to Brad Pitt collapsed in a glare of publicity, her boyfriend, actor Justin Theroux, proposed to her, and Aniston said yes. Now, from Olympic Games to sex games. British heptathlon champion Jessica Ennis is going from gold to grey. 50 shades of it, in fact. The medal winner says she's going to celebrate her success by reading all 3 volumes of Britain's kinky bestseller. Until now, 50 Shades of Grey was just too racy for the racer. Ennis said she was afraid all those erotic images might affect her performance in the stadium. And another Olympian is thinking about becoming a swinger. Swimming legend Michael Phelps has been tipped to play Tarzan in a new movie. The record-breaking athlete could win the role by virtue of his physique, because in the words of the film's writer, all Tarzan really has to do is swim and grin. Zain?
He Tarzan, me Zain. Let's go over to the International Weather Center and get the latest from our meteorologist there, Mari Ramos. I couldn't help myself.
I like it. What a great job description. Just capture this and send it to us. So thank you. Back to you guys.
Pretty.
Pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
And the meteor shower wasn't bad either.
Mari, thank you. You're watching World One live from London. I'm Zain Verjee.
And I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. I'll update you the news headlines in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us here on CNN.